Here's how to create a successful podcast.
I've got 60,000 followers on LinkedIn. I'm a top 10 how-to podcast.
More leads, more signups, and ultimately more revenue.
You build relationships with people, those one-on-one connections.
So I started in video podcasting in 2008.
My favorite part, though, at the end of the day, is that I just get to learn so much.
A lot of the people who come on my podcast become my clients, and so it's becoming a lead generation tool.
Perfect place to talk about podcasting. Podcast marketing. Let's get into it. Traditionally, you have two forms of podcasts. You have a produced podcast and you have an interview-style podcast. Produced podcasts take time and investment, but an interview-style podcast is much easier to produce. Interview-style podcasts are definitely the place to start. We always record our podcasts using video.
Here we are so many years later, and video podcasts and audio podcasts actually more relevant than ever.
And we even live stream each and every podcast that we record here at Dubb.
We use this platform, StreamYard.com. Platform allows us to connect to all of our social channels simultaneously and then to do a live video.
Having video is really important because you need that visual element to promote your podcast. And recording on something like StreamYard, like we're on right now, putting out videos to promote your podcast and do teasers.
Doing an interview-style podcast, you're probably already recording it using Skype or Zoom. It's really easy to ask your guest if they're comfortable turning on their camera. We actually don't use Zoom and we don't use Skype to record our podcasts. We use something called StreamYard.com that allows us to broadcast to pretty much every single social network.
Download the audio only of the podcast, and then that goes to the service that we use, which is Anchor, that's Spotify owned, and then that then distributes our podcast to all the platforms. The second thing that we do, though, is that we take the long form video and we chop it up into micro clips. These are 30-second to 2 to 3 minute clips. And then we always share those with our community. We mention people, we share them with the guest that was on the podcast. And that gets us to get into a little bit of a connection loop with people. That's the name of the podcast, of course.
How do you pick your theme? How do you pick your topic for your podcast? That's a great question.
If you don't know what your podcast is about, you're never going to find people who want to listen to your podcast.
A great way to pick your topic is ask yourself, what would you write a book about? Have you ever thought about writing a book?
I'm about to release my new book, Video Smart.
Topic in your mind, something you're passionate about, that might be the perfect theme for your podcast.
Which is a book on creating videos with your phone. And I'm actually also going to create a podcast or an audiobook along with that. Long form content is becoming more and more important.
In fact, you could even start recording a podcast on a theme and then later go back and transcribe that and turn that into a book. We have some great tips on content segmentation. Oh, wait, the bells are ringing. Oh, it's time. What time is it? Beautiful. Okay, it was a short one. I guess that was just 9:30. The 9:30 bell ring is very short.
They think that they're going to have thousands of downloads right away. Like, that's not how it works. They think they're going to put something out there and magically people are going to find them. That's not how it works. You have to market your podcast. There's so many ways that you can promote your podcast. When I first started, I was copying and pasting messages on LinkedIn one by one. I was targeting Gary Vee's following, and then Gary Vee's fans became my fans.
So if you're doing an interview-style podcast, how do you get people to show up on your podcast? And our answer is a video booking page.
The way that we book our meetings, we use Dubb like crazy for this.
The reason we choose video over just a standard calendar booking page is because you're going to get a lot more conversions if people have a video to watch that invites them to the podcast from you personally, explains a little bit about what the podcast is about, what they can expect from being a guest on your podcast.
Using the Dubb action page, got a calendar integration. And what we did was we put an evergreen video that explains a little bit about the podcast, gets people excited, some links so that people can do their own research on it. And then they can book a time directly to meet with me, to go live for the podcast.
More people are going to book a time in your calendar. Video is great for that because people don't want to read long things. No one reads anymore, unfortunately.
It's so critical, in my opinion, to have a video booking page. Not just a calendar page, not just sending a calendar link, but specifically one with a video.
Up to 20 hours of research on my guest. And that's not even including the time that my research team takes to study my guests. I know every single thing about my guests before I hop on the mic. I know their childhood, I know their career journey, I know their challenges, I've listened to past interviews. In terms of marketing your podcast, I would say you should spend 50% of your time producing your podcast episodes and 50% of your time on promotion. So that's how I split it. It's literally a 50-50 split in my mind.
Your podcast clips can power your entire content ecosystem. Blogs, videos, photo carousels for Instagram, all of those can be adapted from a podcast episode.
That then create a blog post out of the podcast. We convert all that text using Dubb's caption tool into text format, and then we put it on our blog, which is great for SEO.
Take the podcast, assign it to a writer who can turn that podcast into a blog. Since you recorded video, you can now take clips from your podcast, little segments, little clips, and distribute that across all of your social channels.
Create carousels from it. So you taught me a bunch of stuff on best practices in finance and our numbers. That might get turned into a carousel, a 10-slide, super pithy, very interesting slideshow actually, that we can use on LinkedIn and Instagram.
But eventually I got to like an every Monday schedule, and then I would try to do like twice a week with shorter solo episodes or co-hosted episodes. Just interviewed Seth Godin on his new book, and so that comes out in November.
I want people to have fun on your podcast. Create a garden, kind of like I'm in a garden right now. This is an awesome, beautiful place. You want your podcast to be inviting. Make sure you have fun on your podcast. That's how to create a successful podcast. At the end of the day, it's not about how many people are listening to your podcast, because let's be honest, it's probably going to take a long time for a large audience to form. Think of each podcast as a one-on-one relationship building session. You're building relationships with people, and if you're doing it in a way that's not trying to sell them, you're just actually having a genuine conversation with them that your audience will benefit from, that they'll benefit from. Could develop into a business relationship, or could develop into a friendship even. There's so many benefits from just having conversations with people, but then also recording it, because then you're going to get content opportunities for your entire ecosystem. You have to define what success means for you. For us, it means creating those relationships, increasing our brand awareness, and that leads to sales and growth. So that's our top tips for how to create a successful podcast. If you're interested in sales and marketing, definitely consider subscribing to our channel, The Daily Dubb, if you're not subscribed already. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. When you subscribe, it's how we know that you liked this video and you want to see more. So thank you so much, and have a lovely day. Farewell. Bye-bye.